الجميع في كل شرائح المجتمع وكل الشرائح التعليمية، أيضا الشرائح التنظيمية والمؤسسية في الدولة. فقط لي تذكير على أن هذا البث يبث على قناة الوزارة على اليوتيوب، وبالتالي يعني من الجميل مشاركة الرابط اليوتيوب للإخوان والأحباء اللي تم الاستفادة. يعني راح ناخذكم في 45 دقيقة من المعلومة والفائدة مع الدكتور أوين، وإن شاء الله في آخر تقريبا ربع ساعة راح ناخذ بعض الأسئلة الموجهة له. First of all, I would like to all the thanks to Dr. Owen for your cooperation and for your acceptance to be part of this TikTok session. So good morning, Dr. Owen, and we are so happy and delighted to have you in this TikTok session. So how are you? Good morning, and thanks to you.
A very good morning to all those who are listening to my voice. It's a wonderful morning from Central Europe, Slovakia, where I am situated. It's bright and sunny, and I'm looking forward to sharing my presentation today.
Thank you. You are going to talk about 45. Give you 45 minutes to talk about this topic for today, and at the last 15 minutes we are going to talk the questions from the audience. So before talking and starting the session, I would like to read about your CV, for your valuable CV. I have your very long CV, so I'm going to talk the half or maybe the quarter of your CV, Dr. Owen. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have today Dr. Owen Fernandez. Owen Fernandez, he is the founder and the principal trainer at the Bridge to Excel Academy. He's also the co-founder of When Is Within You, a platform for self-empowerment and growth. He has taught, trained, and developed hundreds of managers and leaders at all levels of the corporate ladder. He holds the PhD in business management and processes, and innate creative potential, giving him the ability to approach situations with the foresight and originality. So I think it's going to be a very valuable session. Dr. Owen is going to present it to you, so I hope to enjoy it. So the word for you now, Dr. Owen. I will see you at after 45 minutes. Good luck.
Good. Wonderful. Once again, hello everybody. Good morning and a warm welcome from Central Europe. At the start, I'm thankful for this opportunity to share on this platform of Tech Talks organized by the Ministry of Technology and Communication, Oman. For those who do not know me, my association with Oman is 27 years old. I have come to Oman every year, and some years I have come to Oman even more than twice. So my relationship to Oman is right from my heart. I love your country. Now, while I'm not going to talk today about the new advances and innovations in the field of technology, I'm going to discuss the agents, the power of people that can help these technological advances to reach far and transform the lives of millions of people on this planet. I'm going to talk about leadership, which is my core expertise, as I'm associated with leadership and people development at the National Training Institute of Oman in the city of Muscat. Now, friends, all throughout history, I repeat, all throughout history, we have observed that individuals, society, communities, organizations, institutions, continents have all risen or fallen down because of leadership. Now, in this presentation, I will emphasize on 5 important leadership anchors. I repeat, anchors. So when I talk about the word anchor, most of us have got a picture of a big heavy metal that is normally attached to people at sea. It's a nautical term, anchor, and I hope you will find it interesting. Now, before I start my presentation and share my screen, I have got something to share about a particular myth concerning leadership. First, you need to know, most people think that leadership is not their main role. I have to mention out here that I disagree. In fact, we all are leaders in one way or the other. Now, why do I say that? Because leadership is not defined in the right way that it needs to be defined. So let's try to redefine leadership, not from the management point of view, from the practical essence of what it means to lead. Leadership is not a rank, it's not a position, it is not a power symbol, it is not even a status. Simply put, leadership is about one person influencing another to make him or her do something that she would not have done or he would not have done on its own. So it is anyone, anywhere that you are influencing to make them do something that you want them to do, which otherwise they wouldn't have done. Now, this could be your family, this could be your friends, this could be your relatives, this could be in your neighborhood, this could be at your workplace, this could be anywhere. So while you think that you are not a leader, in fact, you are, if you go by this definition of a leadership, influencing somebody to do something because of you. Now, some of us are born with leadership, fair enough. But let me tell you, with my 26 years of experience teaching leadership, leadership skills can be learned. And today, I don't know where you are. You could think that you are just an employee. You could be thinking that you are just an individual. You could be thinking that I'm not in a leadership position. This presentation that I'm going to share with you will touch you at the point of the place where you are. And after this presentation, I'm sure you will realize that no matter where you are in life, you can easily relate to what I'm presenting today. So let's get a little bit started before I basically go on to the main core of my presentation. Friends, we are all living in one of the most challenging situations in our generation, COVID-19. It has impacted one and all over the world. In fact, I've never seen something like this in my entire life, and I'm 52 years young. COVID has disturbed, has distracted, has destroyed and devastated millions of people all across the globe. Now, this is just not a pandemic. It's just not a health crisis. This is, in addition to the health crisis, it's also an economic crisis. It is a social crisis. It is an emotional crisis. It is an educational crisis. It is a schooling crisis. It's a parenting crisis. In fact, even the oil crisis happened during the last 3 months. And it is also a leadership crisis, especially to take the right decisions when it comes to protect your people from this pandemic that we can't see and touch. So life has a way of testing our anchors and tempting us to drift depending upon the situations. So just imagine you're at sea. Okay, you may be in a different boat, but we are all faced by a common storm. And there we need to know, what is it that anchors us to stay calm and go through this turbulent times of difficulties? So life will always test our anchors and it will tempt us to drift. Nevertheless, if our anchors, I repeat, if our anchors are correctly placed and positioned, if our anchors are correctly placed and positioned, they will hold no matter the force of the wind, the strength of the tide, or even the height of the waves. Irrespective of the storm, if you are rooted and staying put on certain fundamental principles, which I call leadership anchors, you will not only survive, you will have a story to tell and you will thrive. So knowing it is the nature of all things to drift, we must firmly set our anchors on the bedrock of 5 important topics that I'm going to share with you. You have to understand that you don't have to lower it lightly on the sands of pride or ego, or barely touching on our convictions. It has to grip strongly at the very core of our existence, at the very core, in a manner that it will not be easily displaced. So in essence, what I'm going to show you is more about the being of an individual rather than doing. I repeat, the being of an individual rather than doing. So this is my challenge to you today. Be good at what you do, but be great at who you are. I repeat, be good at whatever you do, but try to be great at who you are, because that is significant living. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and let's get growing. Good. Now, when you see an anchor like this, you have to imagine the heaviness of this metal that firstly is carried by ships and boats of different sizes at different seas and different oceans for a specific purpose and to be positioned at a specific time. Now, the weight of this heavy metal is directly proportional to the size of a ship or a container and in the waters of life, or in the waters of ocean for the ship. So let's talk about what is the meaning of anchoring. What is the role of anchor? What is the characteristic of an anchor, and how it plays and unfold in the matrix of being a leader in life and at work? The first thing is that it is used to hold something steady when a ship wants to come to the port or to be positioned at where it is, because the currents of the sea have got a tendency to make the ship drift and lose its original position. Just like in life, just like we are basically challenged by COVID. Steadfast. The use of an anchor is to keep the ship steadfast. Second, if it is positioned and placed well, it also helps it to be rooted. Thirdly, it needs to be unshakable. The positioning, the size, the weight, and the timing should be done in such a way that it is not easily shakeable. It should act as the principal support for the massiveness of the ship or for the size of the boat. It is a measure of security to all on board about being secure. It is a source of reliability. And finally, it is assuring that irrespective of the currents or irrespective of the weather, your ship is not going to drift far away from the place you intend to be or to go. So this is basically the background I am developing, and I'm going to connect it to all walks of life, to wherever you are, in whatever position, and correlating it to leadership. So what are the essential characteristics of any anchor in the context of what I'm going to share? It must be solid. It must be dependable. and it must be available to be used at the right time, at the right place, in order to serve its purpose. Must be solid, must be dependable, used at the right time, at the right place for it to make sense. At the same time, you need to know that it has to be flexible and adaptable to be used as a temporary arrangement or a permanent arrangement. So with this background, I'm going to show you a matrix based on 5 anchors which are going to be related to you in any circumstances, in any phase of your life, at any level or at any position. And let me tell you one thing. My mentor, John C. Maxwell, who visited Oman on the 30th of June 2019, he said, and I quote, everything in life rises and falls on leadership. Everything in life rises and falls on leadership. So you may be an individual. So leadership starts with you. So the biggest challenge you will have is to lead yourself as a person, as a sibling, as a father, as a husband, as an individual, as a citizen. You need to lead yourself first. Or you may be in a position, in a team, leading others, or in the family, leading your offspring, leading your children. And also, you could be leading a business. So have I covered all the aspects of your existence right now? If you're a single individual employee or an entrepreneur, learn to lead yourself based on these 5 anchors that I'm going to show you. If you're leading others in the capacity of a manager or a divisional head or a team lead, or simply as a family man, you need to lead others, for which you need to know how to address these 5 anchors that I'm going to talk about. Or you could be in a business, a family business or a corporate business, or working for a big business house, and you need to lead that entire section and the entire business, which means to say that you have got to produce results and also carry people with you. And what are those 5 anchors and how it varies depending upon where you are? These are the 5 anchors. The first one is relationships. The second one is what motivates you to drive in order to reach your goal. The third thing is your character, which I believe is going to be tested at all levels of your existence. Number 4, your decision-making abilities. At various levels, when you are leading self, how do you make decisions? When you are leading others, how do you make decisions? When you are leading a business, how do you make decisions? What is the anchor and what are the powers of those anchors? And finally, achieving goals. Every individual has a dream, has a vision, has some goals. Every team, every project has got an end in mind, which we call a goal. And every business entity, every organization exists in order to function as a profit-making institution, as well as adding values to the people that they serve. So with five anchors and 3 challenging positions for us as individuals, let us see how this matrix unfolds. And I'm ready to take any question concerning this at the end of this presentation. So have a look at this. The 5 anchors, the anchor of relationships, the anchor of motivation, the anchor of your character exposed in different positions under different circumstances at different times. The way you make decision making, the anchors on which you make decisions, depending on where you are, at what level of life you are, and what position of life you are in. And finally, goal achievements. So let's get started. So leading self. Now, when you're talking about leading self, the anchor of relationship is in the power of one, and that one is you. I repeat, when leading self, the anchor of relationship depends on the power of one, which is you. So the most important aspect at this point of time is how much awareness you have about yourself. How much you know who you are, how do you function, what are your challenges, what are your weaknesses, what are your blind spots, how do you react to people, do you actually love yourself, do you have a good self-image, do you consider yourself worthy, what is your level of self-esteem? Because if you don't possess this, it's very difficult for you to find hope in order to lead yourself. And as we all know, we are unique and we are all gifted, having immense potential in each one of us. But the tragedy of the matter, my friends, is that people do not know their potential, and some people do not even know why they are born into this universe. So awareness is the key, and everything related to your results is directly proportional to the level of your awareness. Now, when you're talking about awareness, there are two kinds of awareness, especially when it comes to self. One is your conscious awareness, and one is your subconscious awareness. And let me share this as a psychometric analyst. 90% of what we do subconsciously because it is a part of our system and our habit. And only 10% of what we function is in the conscious state. So if you are not getting results, go deep within yourself, for the win is within you. The power of knowing who you are, the power that you carry in yourself, being a unique creative being, and the relationship you have with yourself, the confidence that you carry. Now, for all, this doesn't come easy. Why? Because life comes in the way and we become a part of just living. People just react. They don't respond. People just like to follow somebody else's ideas, not of their own. So this anchor in leading self is directly based on the power of the knowledge or the self-awareness that you possess as an individual. The second one, when leading self, the anchor of motivation comes from the power of your purpose. Now, what exactly is purpose? Purpose is something that you long to do and is driven by a passion. And here you need to understand that this comes from your primary why. Why do you do things? Why are you there at your job? Why are you a father? What is your vision? Now, this is absolutely important because people without sight just are drifted in different directions, and life is just a big burden without meaning. Now, life for many has got no meaning. Why? Because they don't define the meaning into their lives. And thus, they go without. Now, Carl Jung once said, until and unless you make the unconscious conscious, you will go about life calling it fate or luck. More than 2/3 of the world's population basically are not sure about what they want in life, and thus they are easily manipulated by many things in the environment, including politics and so on and so forth. So the anchor of motivation for leading yourself is based on the power of your purpose. What is it that you want? Your why. Your why is very, very crucial. Why are you at work? Why are you doing the things that you're doing? What is it that motivates you in your career? Now, are you just looking out for a job? Are you just looking out for a source of income? Now, if you're doing it without purpose, I'm sure that it is just an ordinary performance. Now, the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary, it's not big. It's just the word extra, which is basically talking about your desire, your passion. Of course, it works with determination, drive, persistence, perseverance, and all that is associated with it. The anchor of motivation for leading self is directly proportional to the power of your purpose and your why and your vision. Now, the anchor of leading self when it comes to character is your personal character. Now, when it comes to personal character, you've got to understand is what are your values? What are your principles? Because we are all spiritual beings. I repeat, we are spiritual beings in a physical body. And we have an intellect called the mind. Now, if you are healthy and if you are physically fit, you have a mind which is a powerhouse of divine connections. This physical body is going to die someday, 80, 85, some even die at 30, some even die at 50. The quality of your life depends on the level of awareness, the purpose that you carry, the moral principles that you hold on to. As I told you, this season, this COVID-19 season is also exposing our character. It is also showing what exactly are we living for, the pace of life, the speed of life, the chase for success, the hunger for greed and money. All these are a part of what exactly we put on in terms of our personal character and what is the priority that we have. So the anchor of character when leading self is directly proportional to the personal values, the principles, the ethics, the morals that you hold for yourself. Number 4. When it comes to leading self, the anchor of decision-making skills or decision-making ability is based on the power of your assumptions. Now, what do I mean by assumptions? Remember, we are talking about leading self against those 5 anchors. The first thing that you need to know is that what questions are you asking? Good leaders ask great questions. What are the questions that you are basically looking answers for? What are you searching in order to find information so that the decision-making ability is good enough for you to move on? Most of us go around life without asking questions. And let me tell you that life is punctuated by questions. All life is punctuated by questions. The why, as I spoke about the purpose, the how, the when, the where, the who. So if you are not asking questions, you're not able to get the right information in order to make the right decision for yourself. And there you lose out because you miss opportunities. Ask the right questions when leading yourselves on the anchor for decision making. Don't simply go on assumptions, presumptions. While it is good to have certain assumptions at the start, but the clarity of your assumptions in order to give you a good solution comes from the quality of your questions. Why am I here? What am I good at? Where did I come from? Why was I born in Oman? Why was I born at this point of time? Where am I heading to? What is the potential that I carry? And how can I convert this potential into performance? The quality of your questions. And believe me, if you put the mind into work, surely and steadily, the mystery of your life will unfold. And from there on, you will basically go with a clarity of purpose. So in order to achieve a goal while leading self, number one, you need to be self-aware. Number two, you need to have the clarity of your vision and your purpose. Number three, you've got to check your values, your principles, your morals. Number four, you've got to basically check what questions are you asking. And number five, your mission path. Which is the direction that you need to take now that you are aware, now that you know your purpose, now that you know that you are basically in alignment with basically the values, the principles, the ethics, and the morals that you stand for, and you decide on a path. And this path must be the right path. Of course, you will fail here. But failing does not mean that you are a failure. Failing is basically a stepping stone for success. So here, while leading self, you've got 5 anchors: the power of oneness, the power of purpose, the power of personal character, the power of assumptions, and the power of clarity. So until and unless you lead yourself well, believe me, my friends, I'm speaking from experience, you will not be in a position to lead others. So let's go climb up on the ladder of achieving something of significance. Now, when you're leading others, you have to understand that you are leading yourself well, but you have other people around you. So when leading others, the anchor of your relationship must be based on the power of collaboration as a team. You're not alone. You're more than one. And there the dynamics of relationships come into the play. How much do you know about the person that you are interacting with, or the person that you're working with, or the person that is reporting to you? How will you basically permit yourself in order to increase this relationship, in order to produce something of value? How do you choose a team if you can, or if a team is given to you? What are the combined team strengths of all the people in the group? Are they competing with each other, or are they completing each other? Are they supplementing each other, or are they duplicating each other? The formation of teams, the challenges of teams, the conflicts of teams, all these things are basically based on relationships, the anchor of relationship, for which you have to understand that collaboration, cohesiveness is very powerful. history has always shown that major accomplishments have taken when people have come together. For example, Facebook was not founded by one person. Microsoft was not founded by one person. Google was not founded by one person. Apple was not founded by one person. The power of two, the power of collaborating in leading others. Now, when we are talking about the anchor of motivation when leading others, you have to understand that in a team setting, there is something called diversity and there is something called inclusion. Now, this topic has created a lot of problems right now in the US concerning race and color and all those things. I'm not going to go into the details, but do you know that we don't choose our colors? Do you know that I have not chosen the color of my eyes? Do you know that I have not chosen the way I was born? So if everybody is unique and everybody has a gift, why not anchor the motivation by leading self on the power of individual talents in order to have a great team of talented people that are basically open to achieve any goal. Now take for example, Oman has basically come quite strong in football. Not all of them are forwards, not all of them are good at defense, not all of them are good at strategy and tactics. But if you want to win as a team, you need to know that the talent of one isn't sufficient. And this also comes from knowing awareness about yourself and the awareness of what exactly you know about your team. The same thing works in the family. What is your brother good at? What is your wife good at? The power of talent based on the anchor of motivation that basically challenges us to encourage diversity and inclusion. Now, as I told you, the anchor of character when it comes to leading others is the ability to tolerate, understand, accept differences, and also handle setbacks. Now, do you know there are certain terms that have come up which normally would not have come if not for COVID? People are talking about resiliency. People are talking about agility. People are talking about adaptability. People are talking about flexibility. People are talking about creativity. Now, your character is defined as how exactly after a setback that you come back to normal. In fact, your setback could be a springboard to another different dimension of your life. COVID-19 has taught us a lot about ourselves and about the world that we live in. What about grit? What about courage to overcome? And you're not alone when you're leading others. So why focus on yourself when you have got people around that can do and and basically can fill in for things that you're not good at? The anchor of character in leading others is basically going to talk to you about the power of resilience. Failure is not bad, but staying where you failed is definitely not advisable. Coming back to normal. And what could that normal be? That normal could not be the normal before the failure. Are you open? Are you creative? Are you challenging? Or would you like to be in your comfort zone? Now people are asking, okay, when is this corona crisis going to end? That's a wrong question. It surely is going to end, but are you looking to go back to those days? Because that norm has shifted. So ask yourself, how are you prepared to face the world once this is over? Don't ask yourself, when is this going to end? It's a good natural question, but ask yourself, how do I come out of this stronger and how far can I go? Now, when leading others, the anchor of decision making is the power of the story that you tell others in the group. And that is basically the ability to buy in. Because people are at different levels. People are at different positions in their life. And if you want to make a decision in order to lead others, always remember that this decision has to be based on consensus rather than ego. So you have to influence them, make them comfortable, and you need to have a connecting ability. Why? Because you may be limited in your information to make a decision, but your limitation could be confined to yourself, but there could be others in the group that have got a different perspective. Are you ready to listen? Leaders at their very core should be learners and lifelong learners. A great leader is a person who is ready and humble to speak last while giving every individual in the team an opportunity to express. But finally, through rationality, logic, and an awareness, he makes the right decision for all of them. Leadership is influence, one person influencing other. It's not about communication. Communication has got its limitation. It's something about a connecting thing. You need to touch the heart before asking a hand. And this is very powerful. Your ability to connect to people. And once people are connected, the relationship is stronger, and then people feel that they are important, and then they basically add on. They add value to the team. The power of a story, the power of your story, the power of their story, the power of stories that basically influence people to rise up to occasions. And when it comes to goal, the anchor of goal in leading others is directly proportional to the power of alignment. The greatest challenge in leading teams is that to see if all of them see the goal clearly and together at the same time. So this is the power of focus in a team, the power of alignment. And if you're not getting people aligned, there is a challenge. All of us have got goals. So you have to give them an idea or a vision of the bigger picture. You have to tell them that in order to reach the mountain top, you need to go together with a strategy, with a goal, with a belief, with determination, with persistence, with patience, including pain. Nothing comes easy. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Everything worthwhile is uphill. So give them a bigger picture. Align each and every person in the team while you're leading others to tell them about the goals and define it with clarity, with clearness. So here basically we have finished the second stage. The anchor in relationship for leading others is the power of collaboration. The anchor of motivation in leading others is the power of combined talent, which includes diversity and inclusiveness. The anchor of character while leading others is your ability to bounce back, confront realities, face challenges, overcome failures, but still stand strong. The anchor of decision making while leading others is in the power of your story to get buy-in of your people, the power of consensus, the power of combined vision, and your influence on your team, the respect they have for you. And the anchor of goal in leading others is in the power of alignment together as a team, giving them a bigger picture and a clearer picture, and making all these valuable resources focus on the goal at hand. So we just finished the anchors for leading self. We just finished the anchors for leading others. And now finally, if you're leading a business or you're an entrepreneur, what about the anchor of culture? Now, what exactly is culture? It is a tribe language, because when you talk about culture, it is a collective group of people. It's a tribe language. And what exactly is the collective values, the behavior, the attitude, the thinking, the strategy, the value proposition? Suddenly, from the power of one to the power of collaboration, we are now talking about a power of culture. Now, are we evolving into big things? Yes. Now, that is growth. So if you start small, if you have got an idea and you want the idea to be scaled, to be sustainable, and to spread around, one is not enough. So allow yourself to be completed by the gifts of others while constantly endeavoring to develop a culture that represents you and your team and your company or your business as a whole. The power of culture, the anchor of relationship concerning leading a business, is directly proportional to the power of the culture that you show to the external world. Now, when you're leading a business, what about the anchor of motivation? The anchor of motivation lies in the power of performance that comes through small, consistent wins. Friends, what is success? For many, success is a long, distant, journey. But why can't we break success into small, individual, daily wins? And if you win consistently over a period of time, I'm sure success is yours. But if you think that success is a distant place, far off, and you've got to work hard and so on and so forth, that's a long, long proposition. Success is in your daily habits and in your daily living. Look out for small wins. Look out for results that you can achieve. Break down your vision into smaller parts of your vision and then get going by accomplishing things. That is the anchor of motivation when it's leading businesses. That is the thing that is going to drive you. Look out for small wins while having a bigger vision. As Zig Ziglar once said, the journey to 1,000 miles, starts with the first step. The biggest challenge with mankind today is that we have got uphill goals. We have got great dreams. We have got big dreams, but we have got very poor habits. I repeat, we have got uphill dreams, uphill visions, but daily habits are very poor. It's ordinary, and some of them are even mediocre. And when you are basically giving an ordinary performance, or mediocrity is what you show, you're not going to get results, and you're not going to be rewarded, of course. The anchor of leading a business, the anchor of character while leading a business, is the message that you send in the power of your brand. Now, you all know Apple is a brand by itself. So while leading a business, everything concerning what you put into the brand, what are the values that you expect your customer to get out of you? What are the things that you package and show it to the customer in order to exceed expectations and overcome or even provide surprises? Brand image, brand positioning, brand values, customer experience, customer satisfaction, value proposition, return on investment, loyalty, engagement with your customers, a brand. Big companies basically, they have a brand, like, for example, companies like Siemens, companies like Philips, companies like whatever, Shell, whether it is Toyota. I see in Oman, Toyota is the most preferred car. Ask me why. Because they put so much of importance into their brand. And their customers also are surprised when cars are called in, because it results in a lot of loss. But for them, the loss of life is much more valuable than the loss of money. Now, that's a very powerful statement on the characters and the culture of Toyota as a brand. The anchor of decision making while leading a business is based on the power of empowering. Now, remember, you're not alone. You have led yourself, you've led a team. Now you're leading a business in which you have decisions to make at different points of time.
Dr.
Yes,
Owen, just a reminder,
I'm
1 minute remaining for the
Okay, good. I'm done. Okay, the power of empowering is making people accountable and responsible through delegation. Making people accountable and responsible through delegation. Give them, delegate responsibility, make them accountable, build leaders, not followers. And finally, the anchor of goal in leading a business is the power of momentum. Now, what is momentum? Continue to be scalable, expand your business, and be sustainable. So look out for continuous growth coming in and out in order to touch. Today, we are living in a global world. So don't think small. You can reach the globe right from where you are. If your idea is good enough, if it is reproducible, if it is scalable, and if it is sustainable, and of course, profitable. So the anchor of goals leading a business is in the power of momentum. So have a look at this. This is the matrix where your 5 leadership anchor are based on certain fundamental principles. Leading self, leading others, leading businesses, anchor of relationships, anchor of motivations, anchor of character, anchor of decision making, anchor of goals. And every time each anchor becomes progressively better in the upward direction. So with this, on behalf of NTI Oman, I say thank you. And now I'm open to take any question whatsoever arising from the presentation that I just did. So I'm stopping my share and I'm opening myself for questionnaire. Hello.
Thank you, Dr. Owen Fernandez, for the valuable TikTok session about the topic that you talked about. Very valuable concepts and aspects that you discussed. Very valuable thing that you discussed about it, and I hope all the attendees got the beneficial information from your presentation. So I don't know the time you took the whole time, Doctor, because it was very interesting. So I didn't want to interrupt you because it's very valuable thing. So I let it go till you finish. Just we see if there is any questions before we end the session. We have 2 questions, so we can please, if you can ask it in very quickly. There is a question from Jumana, Dr. Owen. Yes. Her question is how to gain leading skills.
Good. This is a question which basically people do ask me when they are not very confident of themselves as leaders. Okay. Now let me ask you this thing. First, ask yourself. There are 2 qualifications. There are 2 qualifications in order to be called a leader, and these qualifications have got nothing to do with education. The first qualification is somebody ready to follow you, and why? A leader without a person following him is not a leader at all. You need at least one person to follow you. Ask yourself, why would that person follow you? They could follow you because you are a person of integrity, you're a person of character, or simply because you're the father, brother, sister, or whatever it is. Okay. So there you need to understand that the position is given to you. You have got to keep your follower to keep on following you. The second question, which is more important, is have you followed somebody before? Who are your mentors? Who are the coaches? Who are the people that you have followed? And ask yourself why. So as I said, research says that 30% of people have got leadership abilities. Fair enough, they are born. But 70% is more than 30%. In fact, it is more than twice 30%. So you and I stand a chance to learn leadership. Now, what you learn is equally important as to whom you learn from. And that's the reason why you need to follow somebody. You need to have a mentor. You need to have a coach. You need to have a guardian. You need to have somebody that is worthy of following. So how to gain leadership skills? Ask yourself, what is it that you want to learn? Now, if you want career development, if you want to lead people, get in touch with me. I'm ready to extend my hand to whoever wants to lead. It starts with, what do you know about yourself? What are your strengths? You can't lead if you don't have anything to give. But I am telling you that you have, everybody has something or the other to give. So leadership skills can be learned if you are open to learning and if you have got discipline. As I told you, everything about you is in your daily habits. What do you do on a daily basis? Because 90% of your life you live unconsciously, subconsciously. So leadership skills starts with knowing you and your willingness to follow somebody.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Oman. So we reached to the end of this TikTok session. So on behalf of MTC management, I would like to thank you for your cooperation and to be part of this TikTok session. It was very valuable, very nice presentation that you presented. We're so delighted to be part of this. So we are looking forward to see you again in more and more session. At the end of the session, any talk or any final words from you for the audience and for the people who are focused on this kind of topic, in short?
Yes, I do have a final word. The biggest challenge to human development is procrastination. I repeat, the biggest challenge to human development is procrastination. And COVID today has opened our eyes, saying that we are not in control. So starting is the greatest separator of all achievement. People simply believe that they can start tomorrow, they can start day after tomorrow, and life is there on. No, life is very fragile. Make your life count. And my final message is start today. Start today. Today is the turning point of your life. Check yourself. What is it that you are living for? What is it that you want to achieve?
Dr. Owen, some of them, they say start from this moment.
Correct. Start now.
From
start
this
now.
moment.
Yes. Start now. Start today. Yes. Start now. Start right away. And let me tell you one thing on behalf of NTI Oman. Okay, on behalf of NTI Oman, if there is anybody in this particular group that is listening to my voice, wants to grow, please get in touch with me. I love Oman. My mother lives in Oman for 27 years. I visit Oman twice a week. I have resident permit of Oman.
Wow. Good.
Yes.
So if you have any relations with the NTI, so we are looking for the discounts from this side.
Please.
For the audience.
please, because my life mission is to help you be the best version of who you are. And believe me, only 15% of the population actually get what they want. The remaining 85% are just looking to go around life. What a pity. All of us can make this 85%, okay, of people. We can lift them up. And it all depends on you, your leadership, your influence.
Dr. Owen, I'm very honored to have you in this discussion, and you are a very nice guy. And I'm looking forward to see you face to face here in Oman again. and
yes,
to be one of your attendees in one of your
inshallah,
sessions.
inshallah, we will meet, Khalid.
Inshallah.
We will meet.
Inshallah. Looking for this moment, for this valuable moment to see you again in MTC, in private, or in one of the institution here in Oman. So thank you again. On behalf of MTC, we would like to thank you very much for this cooperation, and looking forward to see you again. And also the thanks for all the attendees for attending this session. Thank you, Dr. Oman. إذا هكذا حضورنا الكريم وصلنا إلى الختام. شكرا جزيلا على حضوركم ومشاركتكم في هذه السيشن. نلتقي إن شاء الله الأسبوع القادم في دردشة رقمية أخرى. نشكر الشكر الأخير للأخوة في التوعية والإعلام في وزارة التقنية والاتصالات على إقامة هكذا دردشات رقمية دائما تهدف إلى نشر التوعية والفائدة للجميع. شكرا جزيلا وإلى اللقاء. Thank you, Dr. Oman. See you again.
Shukran. Bye. God bless you. Bye.